Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining in the Review 2018 webinar. We're just waiting for a few more people to join in, so we should get started in the next 3 minutes. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Review 2018 webinar. My name is Tai Nguyen, and I'm the sales manager at Advanced Spatial Technologies. As you already know, we are a platinum Bluebeam reseller. Our goal is to continue providing customers with excellent customer service. So today, I'm so excited to introduce you to Marissa Walton, Bluebeam Channel Account Manager, who will be presenting Bluebeam Revu 2018. Over to you, Marissa.
Okay, thanks, Ty. I appreciate the introduction, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy days to log in to see what's new in Review 2018. As Ty mentioned, this is being presented by Advanced Spatial. They're the reason we are all here today. And my name is Marissa Walton. I am a channel account manager here at Bluebeam, and I am excited to show off what's new in Review 2018. A couple housekeeping things before we begin. I am located in the U.S., so this is broadcasting across the globe here. And while I certainly hope there are no technical difficulties during the presentation today, if there are any, or you can't hear me or something happens, please feel free to type into the chat window off to the right-hand side of your screen. And just let me know. I'll try to periodically check that throughout the presentation today just to make sure we don't have any issues. Another thing is I do have everyone on mute, but I certainly would love all of you to participate. So as you have questions, please use that same chat window and type those in there. I will save a good chunk of time towards the end of the presentation to hopefully answer as many questions as I can before we conclude the webinar. If I don't have a chance to get to your particular question, do not worry. Ty and the rest of the team at Advanced Spatial will be following up with you to any of those questions that we didn't have a chance to answer. Another thing that I want to mention quickly is that we are recording today's webinar. So If you would like to rewatch this or have any questions and want to see the film here, Advanced Spatial can help you with that. I will go ahead and display their contact information at the end today, if you don't already have it. But without further ado, I would like to get things started here. And again, I really want to thank Advanced Spatial. They are a platinum partner with Bluebeam, which means that they really know their stuff. We do not give that partner tier out to just anyone. They certainly have the right technical staff at their disposal, so they can help answer any and all questions that you have Bluebeam related. They definitely know Bluebeam and our software. Another thing that they can do for you is if you have any additional questions after today's webinar and want to connect with their team to go through further training, they're able to customize that training for you. So again, thank you so much to Advanced Spatial for hosting the webinar, and we will kick things off. So Bluebeam, what we try to do is really push the boundaries of innovation. And how we do that is developing simple, smart solutions for AEC professionals worldwide. And the reason that I have this slide here is really to give you all the context to Review 2018. We focus on customers like you. We focus on what you're doing every day and what workflows you're utilizing and the tools and the features that you need. We have a team dedicated to reading your suggestions and your feedback, and we certainly use them to develop the software. So with that kind of customer focus in mind, what we did this past fall was we went to customers and we asked for all of your opinions on what are the things that you take into account when you're making decisions. Let's take Bluebeam totally off the table for right now. What are the areas that you consider when you're making business decisions and making your lives easier? And with all that feedback that we worked through, we kind of boiled it down to these 3 points as a consistent answer. And those 3 things are maximizing productivity, improving project predictability, and minimizing risk. So with those factors, maximizing productivity will really increase your revenue. So being able to do more in a shorter amount of time. Obviously, you're able to win more bids, close them out faster. At the end of the day, increases your revenue. Improving project predictability will drive down your costs, so you're able to train your team faster, know how to standardize the processes across the organization, will help you minimize your risk as well. So putting Bluebeam back on the table with these 3 values, if you will, how are we helping? So we start with best-in-class, industry-specific markup technology aimed at improving your communication, also increasing your accountability, and of course, reducing rework. And then also we add in industry-specific tools to expedite your workflows, which really reduces the time you spend on those repetitive or manual processes. And then we realized that no one in this industry can work alone. So we provide tools to do all of this in a collaboration platform, so you can invite your project partners, help reduce response times, and allow you to complete projects faster. And then, of course, throughout the entire process, we have our open PDF file format, so really allows everyone to have access to the same information and have it very easily acceptable to everyone. And if we were to take a look at all 4 of these different categories of how Revu can help, you can boil it down to what I'm going to show off today, which is making it as easy as possible to adopt and scale across your organization. So for new users, I'm going to show off a lot of features today that it's going to make it even easier for them to get up to speed and allow you to standardize your processes and scale it across your organization. So with that, I would like to introduce Review 2018 to you. Here's a snapshot of the new interface. And if you have not had the opportunity to utilize a trial of Review 2018 yet, Advanced Spatial can help you with that trial. They have access to those 30-day free trials. And again, it's really about a new interface. So what I'm going to show off today is our new properties toolbar, which is probably my personal favorite new feature in Review. You're also going to see some improvements to our panels studio, and then our #1 most asked for feature is custom keyword shortcuts, which I'm happy to announce is part of Review 2018. So being able to create your own hotkeys and standardize those processes. If you have a specific number of keys that you want to be able to work with every day, you can set that up, no problem. And then, of course, we have the ability to allow new users to onboard even quicker and easier than previously. We have new in-app onboarding videos. We also have a lot of support available to new users right when they launch into the software for the first time. So overall, it's a brand new updated interface, and I'm super excited to show it off to you today. So with that, we can jump into the demonstration, but before I do, I'm just going to check our chat window and see if we still have everyone, and it looks like I haven't gotten any complaints yet, so I will take that as a sign that everyone can still hear me and we're good to go. So I just closed my window here, and now I have Review 2018 off to the right-hand side and Review 2017 off to the left-hand side. So here they are. I want to put them up side by side for you to show you what the big changes are. And there's a few things that you're probably going to notice right off the bat. First one being that on Review 2018 side, this right-hand side here, there's more screen real estate. So there's more space for you to look at your PDF, as you'll notice here. Another thing that you'll probably notice right off the bat is the difference in the menu here between the two. And I think the best way to highlight why we made this change from a tab menu where you could click through the different features to a menu that operates like a drop-down is with a story. And that comes from our beta testing group, where we had a customer come back to us and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much to Bluebeam. We really appreciate the fact that you finally put batch OCR in Review 2018. Thank you so, so much. It's going to save me so much time. I love it. Thank you. And batch OCR has been around for 6 to 7 years, I think. So that feature was hidden in our old menu, and that one customer was not alone. Some of the features of Review were pretty hard to find, and if you didn't know where to look, you might miss it. So if you didn't know, for example, to go to File, Batch, and then OCR, you definitely would have never found it. But if you see now in Review 2018, we have a new batch dropdown, and you can see OCR. So it saves a couple clicks. It might not seem like a earth-shattering change, but I think, especially for new users, even users that have been using Review for years and years, some of these changes just to the interface and the menu are going to make a big difference. And you're going to start finding features that maybe you never knew existed in the software. So another thing that you will notice is that we had these blue little half circle tabs off to the left, the bottom, and to the right. We do not have those little circle tabs anymore. What we do have, and I'll make this bigger, is a blue line. And if I hover my mouse over it here, you can see that a blue line kind of forms. So that blue line is an indicator that there's things hidden under this panel. It's still there, and you're still able to customize the interface exactly how you'd like to. So if you're really used to having your studio down here, off to the right-hand side, you can still click and drag and move that to the right-hand side if that's better. That left-hand panel is still there. It's just a little hidden. I'll put that back. One thing that we did not get rid of is everyone's best friend in Revu, which is right-clicking. So if you right-click here, you can still turn on and off the features you want. Still click and drag, move things around. Still has a very similar feel to previous versions of Revu. So you're still able to customize fully. One thing that I do want to point out is profiles. So profiles, again in Revu 2017, was under View, and then this lovely man with a bow tie. And all of these came right out of the box with Revu. So lots of different profiles, all centered around workflows. What we found is that companies don't need all those options. So in Revu 2018, there's four. Four come right out of the box, and you are able to manage your profile still. So if you've gotten used to a specific one that you've created for your company in previous versions, do not fret. You are still able to import those old profiles and also export them. So same process as before. If you want to share profiles, if you want to bring old profiles in, no problem at all. You're still able to do so in Revu 2018. All right, so those are just a few right off the bat kind of gotchas that you'd probably notice right away between the two versions. The next thing I want to show you is my favorite new feature. So we're going to talk about the properties toolbar. And in order to do so, I'm going to go ahead and show you first in Revu 2017 what this would look like. So here's a markup. And since we're talking Bluebeam today, I want to change the properties of this markup to be blue. What you would have to do before is, if you knew the properties panel was off to the left or the right-hand side, excuse me, you could click and drag the properties toolbar. And of course, there's tons of options within these panels. So you'd have to stumble upon the properties panel, or you could right-click and open up properties. But that takes a little bit of time to search for if you're brand new to the software. But it has all the things that we're looking for. So now I can go through and change the color, and we'll make it blue. And I can change any other aspect I want to. But that was the process. That was how you could change your properties on a specific markup. Let's take a look at Revu 2018 now, and we'll take a look at that same green markup. So I'm going to click on it, and keep your eyes up here at the top. One click, and now I have this beautiful new properties toolbar available to me, where I can go through and change the visual properties of my markup. I can change all of the same options I had in that properties panel, but now I can go through and change this information so much more quickly. It's right up at the top. It's easy to find. You're not having multiple clicks to go through different panels to try and change that information. It's available to you right up at the top. Again, helping with that scalability, that onboarding, but again, to users that have been using Revu for years and years, this is going to save you a lot of time as well. I know it saves me a ton, and like I said, it's my personal favorite, so I'm really excited about that one and to show it off. It does apply to markups, but you'll notice up at the top here, I still have some options. I can click on this little drop down, and now I see the properties of my actual PDF, which is pretty neat. So you can see just a snapshot of information about it. If you click on the Show Document Properties, it'll give you even more information that you can go through and see about your PDF. But back to the specific markup in this Properties toolbar. Same little click down, but it shows you the subject, which is the markup. You can assign a layer, you can add it to your tool chest. so much information up here at the top that you now have access to control. Another thing that I want to point out is this panel access bar. So I already showed off our best friend right-clicking and how to customize this. But another thing I want to show you as an enhancement is if I click my thumbnails, so this is a one-page PDF. If I had multiple pages, they'd be listed here. This neat little thing, the slider down at the bottom, now allows you to control the size of the appearance of this PDF. So if I wanted to, if I am just focused on this one PDF, I can make it big. And if I want to take a quick look at the PDF in my properties toolbar, you can make it really big. If you have a ton of PDFs and you want to, or pages to your PDF, you can make it really small so everything shows up in the space that you have here. This becomes a really neat thing when we're playing around in the tool chest. You still have that same slider, so you can make your markups big, you can make your markups small. I think this one's really, really cool because I don't know if some of you have troubling eyesight when you look at the computer all day. Sometimes things get a little blurry for me, so being able to make the markups appearance look bigger is really helpful. It's also really helpful if you're working on an iPad app and going out on the job site and you need to have access to the markups and maybe your finger isn't as tiny as a mouse click. So that's really helpful too, being able to make it the size that you want. You also have this drop down here, and you'll find this specific type of drop down in all of these different feature options for you. For tool chest, it allows you to turn on and off different tool chests within your tool chest. So that's really nice to be able to customize even more. Another panel that I'm sure most of you are curious about is our markups list. So down here at the bottom, I can click the markups list. It still pops out in this bottom panel. And you're still able to fully customize your markups list. So you can still click and drag, you can still filter and turn things on and off. You can, if you want to just see your architect comments, you can do that and make sure the architect comments are there. Again, it kind of grays out the comments that are not being looked at, but they're still there on the page. So if you want to focus on just the architectural comments, you can still do that. If your sheet gets too messy and you have too many markups and you really just want to see what's happening in this room, you can go ahead and hide the markups from view and then turn them back on when you're ready to see where the markups are. So a lot of the features that you've gotten used to are still here. You're still able to search and change the columns as you want to. But the one thing that I think is great and I really want to show off today is our new summary report. So I'm going to go ahead and create a PDF summary. And now I have this really nifty brand new pop-up window available to me. So let's take a look at what this means. So firstly, I just have this one PDF open. So it's just this one page that we've been working with. But if I'm working with a large document set, or I'm working on a project with lots of files and I want to create a report for all of it, it does not have to be open in Revu while you're creating this report. If you wanted, you could just go ahead and click Add and add those files or the folder to your report, to this dialog box. And then you can take a deeper dive into what that report is going to look like. So there's three options here. We have columns first. So previously, you had to create your columns in the markups list the exact way you wanted them to look when you ran your report. Those days are over. So we're creating an easier process for you. So now you can go ahead and choose your columns in here. You can turn them off if you don't want them. You can also rearrange if you want. You can do all that information right in this columns area. And then you can go even deeper into the filter and sorting of it. So here you can go ahead and apply even more information to what your report is going to look like. So if you wanted to only look at your emergency information under label, you can turn that on and filter even more. And then lastly, outputting. So you can make sure that this is going to the right place. If you want it on your own computer, or you want to save it to a network drive, you can do that here. Of course, changing the title of the summary. If you have a template, you can go ahead and put that template in here. You can also import a template. So if you have your own letterhead that you want to use for every markups summary report that you ever do, you can load that into Revu and make sure that you have access to it at all time. But the best thing too is, again, once you do the work and you have it the way that you want it, you can always save this configuration or load a previous configuration. So not having to do the same work over and over again, but this new summary report I think is really nifty and is going to help greatly with creating those summary reports. All right, so that's the markups list. Again, very similar to the previous versions, but this nifty new summary report is really nice. All right, the next thing I want to discuss with everyone is Studio. So let's go back to Revu 2017, and I am going to show Studio off and what that looks like in the previous versions and show you how things have changed. Okay, so here are my sessions and my projects. Let's take a look at projects real fast. So if I wanted to go into my demo project, here we go. I have all my folders or my files that I've saved, and my folder structure is all looking normal and good. But if I wanted to add a file to this specific demo folder, I'd right click and add a new file and then go through my computer and find the exact file that I want to upload, double click, and then there we go. It takes some time and it would add. If I wanted to go into another project, because I'm busy and I have multiple projects that I'm working with at the same time, so I need to have access to both. If I wanted to open my one specific document that I'm looking at, I'd have to leave this project before I can go into my next project and find the file I'm looking for. So that's complicated. It doesn't allow you to work on different documents under different projects at the same time. And again, with the uploading of files, it's that right clicking, it's having to get into the folder structure, find the right file, upload it. It's kind of difficult. So let's take a look at Revu 2018 now, and I'm going to open up Studio. And let's go ahead and sign in here too. You'll see this new screen pop up. And here we go. Okay, so here are some differences that you'll notice quickly. Is again that drop-down menu where you can see a little bit more information. But now we have these two new icons, and we've broken it out by projects and sessions. So now you can look through your projects and sessions separately. You can also filter your projects. So if you wanted to just look at the projects I've created, you can do that. You can sort it by the date, the name, the ID, all sorts of good filtering options. You can, of course, add a new project, create a new project and session using this plus icon. But let me go ahead and show you that exact same project scenario where I wanted to look at my two projects at the same time. So the first one I'm going to click on and open up. And I'll just drag this over here. Quickly, you're going to notice there's this whole new window that pops up and allows you to see your file structure, not in this tiny window off or panel off to the side. Now you have the ability to really take up your screen and look at the information in your folder structure, and it's a really nice change. You can even see the file path that's being taken. It's very similar to Windows and how they operate. But if I wanted to, again, go back to Studio, open up that second project, I could just double click on that. And now I have another tab. I have two projects open at the same time, and I'm able to see the files that I want to be working on side by side. Now they're in two different tabs. Up at the top, back to this new properties or this new panel engagement at the top here, you'll see this drop-down menu, and it'll tell you that this is a project. It gives you the information up at the top, so good information capturing up here. But this is big. You're able to now work on multiple projects side by side, open up these files, no problem. Again, back to my previous example of having to right-click and upload a file to a project, those days are gone too. If I wanted to find it in Windows and know exactly what I want to put into my project, all you have to do now is click and drag. That's it. So really, really simple. And it should work exactly like you would want it to work. Being able to drag files and have it upload to your project without having to do unnecessary right-clicking. So this is a big improvement that I'm excited about, and I think it's going to save people a lot of time. Same look and feel with sessions. I'll just show one off real fast. So you still have full control over your session. So if you wanted to control your settings, you're still able to do so. You can still see your attendees, your documents, notifications, pending, etc. The one thing that I think is worth mentioning to you as a difference are these two icons here. So being able to create reports of your session. It used to be kind of hidden, and if you had this panel kind of small, these icons would disappear and you would have no idea that they were there. But now with them having been placed here, you always have access to it no matter how small you make this panel here. So something pretty small, but wanted to point out to everyone. So that is Studio. The next thing that I want to show off is that most asked for feature, which is custom keyboard shortcuts. So custom keyboard shortcuts can be found under Review, and you can go down to keyboard shortcuts. And here we are. We have this new display that pops up, and there are two options for us. So tools or commands. So tools are going to be obviously any of the tools within Review, so thinking of markups or different measurements that you can make. Commands are going to be like creating a PDF or a new, having a new PDF pop up. Different commands that you can do within the software. So if you wanted to go ahead and maybe change the markup for, or change the keyboard shortcut for a markup, and have it be cloud. If I type cloud in my commands, it's not going to pop up. But if I switch to tools and type cloud, there we go. So we have our two options. So something to keep in mind if you're trying to find something and it's not popping up when you search, try both. But it's pretty self-explanatory what the differences are there. So with this example, I never work with cloud markups. I only work with my Cloud Plus markup. Which is my cloud markup with a built-in callout. And I use that all day long, and I want to make sure that C, the shortcut for cloud, is actually going to Cloud Plus. So every time I push C on my keyboard, I want Cloud Plus to pop up. So what I'm going to go do is click on my Cloud Plus, and you'll see that it shows a K here. And I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to put C. And I automatically get this message that C is currently assigned to Cloud, which we can see up here. But I still have the option to reassign it. So let me go ahead and do that and click Reassign. And now you'll notice that the Cloud shortcut is gone. And now my Cloud Plus markup is C. And that's exactly what I want. So pretty straightforward process. The one thing that I will mention is that there are some limitations. You can choose really a good majority of different keyboard shortcuts, but things that are associated to Windows are off limits. So Control C and V and Z, for example, since those are taken by Windows, you won't have access to change that in Revu, but everything else is fair game, and I think you can get pretty creative with the options that you do have. If you make a mistake and you hate the way that you've changed things up, no problem at all, don't worry. You can restore your defaults, so that comes right back, no harm done. If you are your designated team member that's really good with keyboard shortcuts and you want to share your amazing work with the rest of the team, you can do that by exporting it, and then vice versa. If someone was kind enough to make those keyboard shortcuts for you, you can import that information. So common theme within Revu will always be being able to share information to help standardize the processes, make sure everyone's operating on the same processes if you want to. So that, of course, does not fall short with keyboard shortcuts. All right, so another thing that I want to mention is our great new onboarding process. So every time a new user launches Revu, they will get this Welcome to Revu menu pop up, and this is what it looks like. And there's a video here. I'm not going to play it because I'm sure over the web it's not going to play very well. So if you want to watch it, I highly suggest it. It's basically just a quick overview of the things that I've showed off today. But the really neat thing is down below here. So it allows you to open up a sample floor plan, which is exactly what I've been kind of showing off today. And it opens it up into a new window. So now you can play around with the markups. You can go through some of the things that we talked about and get situated with a PDF if you'd like to. But really neat here is this Launch Revu tutorials, and it goes through some of the different workflows that you might be working with quite regularly. So if you wanted to look at document management, for example, let me try that, there we go. It opens up this nice video, and so you can watch a tutorial video on document management right within the interface. And again, you have that sample floor plan, so you can play along and try and follow along with that document that they're going through at the same time. So again, really focused on helping new users get up to speed. Even users that have been around for a while and want to get a new tutorial on document management, it's definitely worth your while, and I highly suggest taking a look at some of these tutorials here. All right, so the last thing that I want to show off today is something for users that utilize our open license. So Revu open license, what happened before was we saw a lot of users that would download Revu View, which is VU, which is our free PDF viewer, to not try and check out a full seat of Revu from their pool of licenses. We have gotten rid of, or we are not going to continue developing VU, which is that free PDF viewer, because now it's baked into Revu. You can switch between view mode or markup mode to get the same exact experience a user would have gotten with VU. So now it's baked into the software. You don't have to have multiple editions of Revu downloaded to your computer. You simply just have the one, and if you want to switch back to markup mode, you can do that here. So again, this is really going to help improve the experience for those open license users, but definitely worth pointing out to the group. Of course, you still have access to your preferences, so if you want to go in and take a look at the preferences with Revu, you can do that here. For a lot of people, I know this dark interface is not maybe their favorite, so you can still change that if you've been working on the light or white iteration. You can still switch to that, so do not fear, you still have the ability to have this white kind of interface. And you can find that again by Revu preferences and switch it. All right, so that's a basic overview of what's new in Revu 2018. The last thing that I want to just briefly talk about before I jump into questions is that Bluebeam is going to be out in Australia for Bluebeam training days. This is the first time we have ever done this. And it's really because the adoption of Revu is really the highest it's ever been in Australia and New Zealand. So we wanted to provide these training opportunities. One's in Sydney on July 17th, and the second is in Melbourne on July 19th. It is a full day, hands-on, and really aimed at bringing the AEC community together to take a look at some of these training opportunities, especially with Revu 2018 just having been launched. We really hope that you're all welcome to join, and we hope to see you there. Please look for more information from Advanced Spatial. They will be providing more information as we get closer, but very exciting, and certainly wanted to mention that to everyone here today. As promised, here is Advanced Spatial's contact information. Again, if you have not had the opportunity to download Revu 2018, please reach out to Advanced Spatial and they'd be happy to set you up with a 30-day free trial. Any other questions that you may have, they can absolutely help you with that. All right, so with that, I'm going to go over to questions and take a look what we've gotten here. All right, so we have a question here about Revu Mac. We have not had a release for Revu Mac yet. We are expecting one here soon. So we should have some more news on a Mac update for you. Let's see here. We have a question about offering training in other places other than Sydney and Melbourne. We are certainly looking at the opportunity to expand our training. Like I said, this is our first time offering this, so we're really excited about it. We hope everyone can join and come make it a great event. And I'm sure we'll be looking for more opportunities to offer trainings in the near future, but this one's really exciting for now. It looks like we have some feedback about some of the settings in Revu. Let's see. And then some feedback on being able to run multiple projects, which is really exciting. So with that, looks like we're out of questions. If anyone else would like to ask any more questions, I am happy to stick around. Oh, we have a question about Revu being available in Android devices. Not yet, but that is currently something that is on our roadmap. Hopefully we should have updates for you this year later on. All right, that's it. I'm not getting any other questions. So with that, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Advanced Spatial, and thank you to everyone that was able to join. It was a pleasure talking to you today, but I hope that you enjoyed this opportunity to learn a little bit more about Revu. I certainly enjoyed the opportunity to show it off today. So thank you again, and have a good rest of your days. Appreciate the opportunity, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.